What I'm saying is that everybody looks at Ronaldo as one of the top players, Messi as one of the top players, Neymar as one of the top players. But if you look at these guys, and if you look at the amount of work that they put into themselves, the investment they make into themselves in terms of the hard work that they put in, because they know in order to get to that level, you have to have more than a trick. Over the years, my approach in terms of scouting players has changed dramatically, because when I started out all those years ago, like everybody else, I thought the people that was going to make it, or the players that was going to make it, was the players that was extremely pleasing on the eye in terms of having all the flicks, all the tricks, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But over the years, you realise fast that for you to become a professional footballer, a manager, A, has to trust you, and B, you have to be able to have something completely different and unique to the rest of the other 35, 40 boys that will be within that squad. So my idea on the player changed over the years, because those types of players that I was going for, the ones that was, like I said, pleasing on the eye, they had the tricks, they had the flicks, you soon learn to realise that they never had any substance. And what I mean by that was, a manager's putting his job on the line every weekend based on the team that he picks, right? So if you're that type of player that has all the tricks and the flicks, but yet you don't have any substance in terms of you don't want to work hard, you're not prepared to put your body on the line, you're not prepared to put the hard graft in, you're not prepared to go that extra mile in order to enhance your ability, then a manager won't do that. A lot of people have lost, or they lose the love for the game or for whatever they do, whether it may be through knockbacks or not getting that opportunity or losing it to somebody else. Because even with football, you think about it, this happens so often in our business. You get a kid that will come through the system at 5, 6, 7, 8. He's been in that system since he was 8 years old. After you go to a professional club, at the age of 8, you're not allowed to play grassroots football anymore. So your informative years, your embryonic years, where you learned to play football, where you loved football, where football was fun for you, where you played with your mates, you are now no longer allowed to do that, because you become the property of the club, and the club want you to play with them and their players. So therefore, you got a kid that has talent, that has ability, but has no understanding of what that equals. But at the age of 8, he's been told, and the parents have been told that, well, we have to stop him from doing this, which is playing with his mates, which is where you saw him, which is where you scouted him, which is where you picked him up from, to now you're a young professional, and this is what you have to do. But at the end of it, there's no guarantees. But the reality is, it's a big ask to say to a kid who's 8 years old, by the way, once you hit 8, you're never going to play football again with your friends. How does one digest that at 8 years old? So what are you willing to do to get to that next level? And this is a question that I ask of my young players all the time, and some of the senior players, but especially of the young players. What are you willing to do to get to that next level, or to go to that extra mile? You have to make sure you understand the business that you're in. And the business that you're in is a very, very cutthroat business. So you have to make sure you don't just rely on ability alone, because ability would only take you so far. Because you're in an industry where you're with other players, and other players are there for what? Because they've got ability as well. But not everybody likes to work hard. So you need to make sure that you put yourself mentally in a position that you are not afraid of that hard work. You're not afraid of that graft. So therefore, that ability that you have will shine through tenfold, then nobody can deny you of that. You know, you look at the likes of Ronaldo. When he came to Man United, he was labelled as a show pony from Sporting Lisbon. Great player, had all the potential, but loved the trick and loved the flick. It wasn't until the senior players, the likes of your Rio Ferdinands, your Sir Alex Fergusons, your Roy Keanes, got hold of him and said, listen son, you got all that ability, but you need to work on your physicality and you need to be stronger mentally. He came back like a completely different athlete. And that's what he became. He became an athlete. He was a young footballer when he signed to Man United. He became an athlete when he left, and he became a supreme athlete now that he's at Real Madrid. Because he went the extra mile. He realised that it wasn't just about having ability alone, because at Manchester United, guess what? Everybody's got ability. So when we work with young players in the off-season, it's not just about coming in and running for running's sake. It's about coming in and getting yourself physically and mentally prepared before you go back to your clubs. Because if you are in a position where, especially as a young player, you're already at a deficit, because you're going in now with seasoned professionals, people that's played the game for many, many years, that understand the game, that are extremely wealthy. You have to now come with something that's going to show people that, well, you know what? Mentally, I'm ready. Physically, I'm ready. So when pre-season comes around, you give yourself every single chance and opportunity for the manager to look at you and go, wow, I can see this boy is putting time and effort into himself. You look at the best basketball player right now, LeBron James. He has spent over $1 million in terms of the upkeep on his body over the years, the 15 years since he's been at the NBA. That's of his own money. Of his own money. Not what the club's done for him, what he's done during off-season. So is it any secret why he's the best basketball player in the world since Michael Jordan? No. Is there any reason why Ronaldo's arguably the best centre forward in the world? No. Because when these guys are putting in the work, they're putting it in with a purpose. They're putting it in with the understanding of knowing that they've been blessed with fantastic ability. But that graft, that gym work, that extra training, that extra mile running, that has to come from them, and that has to come from within.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
You alright?
Good.
Good.
Disgusting. So disgusting. 18 players versus 14 players.
You're full centre back. I'm gonna give a shout to Lee, the best goalkeeper by far here.
Mate, listen. 5 them, don't go there. 5, not 3.
He scored twice and he got this.
Get him in the middle.
Come on, Junior.
Listen, left foot
One of the
like
players,
a
mate.
flipping one.
Yeah. Best team in London.
Oh, Nick, don't start with that.
All those WhatsApps from earlier, they're coming back. All those WhatsApps from earlier.
You sponsored now? You sponsored?
They weren't working. Hope these are working.
What?
Mecca! James! Go for it.
That's enough said, enough said.
Well, no, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting.
My ankle in that car, so
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah, I'm looking for it.
Boy, I've had these for 3 years now.
You just focus
They done the job, not gonna lie, but obviously wear and tear.
Yeah, come here! Oh, go, James, shot!
Yeah, go.
Yeah, you there! Yes, done. They're broken, look at their faces. Handball! Handball! That's the goal! Go, Tom. Go, Jim! Unlucky.
Use the ball, use the ball!
Stay. Shuffle. Stay out. Catch it. Oh, fucking how you doing the German keeper? Yeah! Who's in the next one? Hey, where you at, Yeah, I see.
Come on!
Is it a ball?
That was the same as a penalty as well, but it's whoever cries the loudest.
Come on, Jay, you're fucking dead. Leon!
That's what I'm saying. Well done, Leon.
Piss off! You're shit! Come on!
Yes!
Race! Come on!
Yeah! It's been a long time coming.
Hey!